So welcome again to a new lecture of this course, Solar Photovoltaics Principles, Technologies and Materials. So we'll just do a brief recap of last lecture. So let me just go back to last lecture, what we did in that lecture. So in the last lecture we looked at effect of bias on p-n junction, and we also looked at properties. We also looked at the various diagrams as to what happens to carrier density, electric field and potential as a function when the p-n junction is. So you can have p and n equally doped or your p and n unequally doped. So we took two cases in which p and n were nearly similarly doped, and another case of p side being more heavily doped as compared to n side, and this has repercussions on the charge density on the both sides and the width of depletion region. So depletion region is equally wide in n and p side if both are equally doped. However, depletion region is more narrower in case of heavily doped semiconductor than in case of lightly doped semiconductor. However, you have to maintain the relations of charge neutrality on both sides. So as a result, you have this nd into Wn is equal to Na into Wp. And likewise, you have more drop in the electric field in the narrow region than in the wider region, and this has similar repercussion in terms of field as well, potential as well. Okay. So now then we looked at effect of bias on the p-n junction. We looked at a qualitative way of understanding it. So effect of bias is essentially you can have two biases, forward and reverse biases. Forward bias is essentially it reduces the barrier height. So your barrier height becomes Vbi minus Va, because Va is positive. As a result, more electrons can flow and more holes can flow across the junction, whereas in case of reverse bias you increase the barrier height, leading to reduced hole and electron flow across the junction. As a result, the current is lower. So this leads to so you can modify this equation accordingly, just replace Vbi minus Va, and this has implications in terms of both electric field and potential. And in case of current and voltage characteristics, what you have is you have an exponential increase in the current in case of forward bias, and in case of reverse bias you have very low current in the reverse bias. This is the saturation current is nothing but I minus I naught, which is essentially the reverse current that you get, which is nearly very small. So diode basically acts like a switch. So in the reverse bias it has zero current, in the forward bias it has very high current. Now what we will do is that in this lecture we will take forward this discussion to calculate the p-n junction current. So we'll go a little quickly about it, because we don't have too much time in these lectures, but we'll try to establish a framework of how to derive the current. So essentially, p-n junction in dark, when you want to derive the IV characteristics, there are certain assumptions that we make. So first is there is no generation of charge carriers as a result, because you have no light based generation or thermal generation. So we assume that carrier concentration, whatever it was to begin with, that stays constant, and the depletion region approximation is valid, which means you have a depletion region in which there is no generation recombination that takes place, and it's free of free charges. There are no electrons and holes there. It's completely depleted of charges basically, and there are no recombination generation in depletion region. And we also assume that bulk of the semiconductor has this low level injection condition, which means that this NP, the minority carrier concentration in the p side, that is electron concentration, is much smaller than the hole concentration in the p side, and the minority carrier concentration n side, that is hole concentration n side, is much smaller than the electron concentration inside. What it also means is that the perturbations, so you can say that delta Pn, you can say delta Np and delta Pn are such that they do not disturb the majority carrier concentration, they only affect the minority carrier concentration. So injection is lower in that sense. In the bulk of the semiconductor, the electric field is equal to 0, so because of flat band condition, and in the bulk we also have the carrier concentration as a function of distance in both p and n side. For the majority carrier they are equal to 0. So because the majority carrier concentration remains unperturbed As a result, you don't have variation in these. However, if you look at the minority carrier concentration is something like this. So, this should be minus Wp, this should be, so let me just say this is minus Wp, this is plus Wn, and this is the junction. Okay. So, minority carrier concentration at the junction, at that boundary of the depletion region and the bulk, the concentration is Np, and deep in the bulk you have Np naught. Similarly, on the N side, minority carrier concentration, that is whole concentration, is Pn at the boundary between depletion region and bulk, that is at x is equal to Wn, and it goes to equilibrium value of Pn naught in the bulk of the semiconductor. So, these are certain conditions that we will follow to begin with. So, minority carrier equations can be written as, so if you remember, we talked about the continuity equations, right. So, del n by del t or del p by del t. Now, if we take a steady state conditions, if you take a steady state condition, then for n type semiconductor one can write minority equation as, so only the only, because you have electric field that is equal to 0, as a result you are not going to have drift current, you are not going to have generation, you are going to have some trap assisted recombination in the bulk region. So, the only current that is available for, so because we are ignoring the depletion region, we are looking at the first bulk region. Within the bulk region, the minority carrier equation can be written as the diffusion component, that is dp into del 2 delta Pn divided by del x square, minus the recombination term, that is delta Pn divided by tau p, that is equal to 0. And we know that the whole current in this case is minus q dp del delta Pn by del x, and Pn, which is the minority carrier concentration at a distance x, is equal to Pn naught plus some delta Pn, that is the perturbation, the change in the minority carrier concentration as a result of sweeping of carriers from one side to another side when you apply bias. Now, for p type you can write similar equations as in the steady state this becomes 0, 0 is equal to dn del 2 delta Np divided by del x square minus delta Np by tau n. Jn in this case, sorry, this should be Jn in this case is q dn del delta Np by del x, which is the diffusion current for electrons, and Np is similarly Np naught plus delta Npx. So, of course, you can see here you have Jn or Jp drift, that is equal to 0, and then generation is equal to 0. So, you do not have any generation of carriers because it is in dark. So, there are no carriers that are being generated, okay. But you will have recombination in the bulk because carriers will, once the carriers go from p to n side or n to p side, they will recombine with the holes and electrons on the other side. So, the total current that we have in the device is since the device has two terminals, and at any place in the device we can say J total is constant, which means it is equal to Jnx plus Jpx. So, Jnx would be J minus Jpx, that is the majority current in n type region, and Jpx would be J minus Jnx, that would be a majority current in the p type region. So, if you now look at it in the schematic term, I can make a diagram like this. Let us say this is the depletion region, okay. So, this is minus Wp, this is plus Wn, and at somewhere here we have x is equal to 0, okay. So, since and if I plot on this axis j and on this axis I have this x, the distance, this is the p bulk region, this is n bulk, okay. So, this is p, this is n, and this is somewhere the depletion region. So, if I just change the color, okay. So, I am saying that this is J total, so this is J total, alright. J total is sum of Jn and Jp, it is a constant current. So, what it means is that in case of Jpn, it goes as something like that, and then in the depletion region it stays constant, then within So if I extend it to other side, all right, and now if I draw the, so this is what current this is going to be, this is going to be, so here you can see that this is this current is high in the P side, it is constant in the depletion region, because in depletion region we assume that there is no recombination in generation. So as a result nothing happens to carriers, but the moment they come on this side the current drops. So which current is this going to be? This is going to be hole current, this is going to be JPX, because the holes become a minority carriers on the N side. So when they come to this side they are large in number, but as they go traveling in the N region the number reduces because of recombination, because recombination takes place with the electrons available there. Similarly, if you plot for electrons, the electrons will show a variation like this. So this is just a schematic variation, this can be, and this goes as something like this. So this would be JNX and this would be JPX. So basically you can say within this region this is JN and this would be JP. So if you want to find out the majority current in the N type region, the majority current in the N type region would be J total minus JPX, right, because that becomes the majority current in that. So similarly on this side if you want to find out the majority current JPX, that would be total J minus JNX. Similarly you can find the minority current. So this would be, for example, the minority current in N type if you take JNX as the majority current in the N type. Similarly this will become minority current in the P type. So basically we are looking at, this would be for the region which is X greater than Wn, and this would be for the region which is X greater than or equal to minus Wp, right. Okay. So now, so this is for some carrier concentration we are going to have this kind of profile. So this is the total magnitude J, all right, and at any given point of time the total current is going to be this current. If I use different color for that, let us say I make it green. So this is J total. So this green one is sum of this and that. So at any given point of time it is going to be sum of this and that. Okay. Similarly here at any given point time it is going to be sum of this and that. Now so J total I can write. Now since in these regions they are going to vary, but within this region they are going to stay constant, so I can also write J total is nothing but Jn at minus Wp plus Jp at Wn, all right. Is that a fair assumption? So this is what is the conclusion from this slide, that J total is equal to Jn at minus Wp and Jp and Wn. Now instead of calculating these currents at any arbitrary place, I am now going to calculate these currents at these fixed places which are the boundaries of depletion region on both bulk sides, N and P sides. So what is the method that we are going to follow? The method that we are going to follow is, first we solve for delta Pnx in the N bulk region to compute Jpx. Okay. So basically solve for minority carrier concentration in the N side so that we can calculate the minority carrier current. Similarly we solve for delta Pnx in the delta Npx in the bulk P region to solve the electron current, that is the majority current, that is the minority current in the P side. So this is what we do. So basically the assumptions that we make is, depletion region we assume that what goes in goes out, and as a result there is no generation and recombination. And if the minority carrier, so we saw from the previous diagram that if the minority carrier diffusion current at the edges of the depletion region is known, then we know the total current throughout the depletion region as well as total current throughout the device. Okay. So basically we can write Jp depletion edge is equal to Jp in the depletion region is equal to Jp at Wn, which is equal to minus Q Pd dPn by dx at x is equal to Wn, right. Similarly, I can write Jn at depletion region edge, that is Jn at minus Wp. This is Qdn into dnp by dx at x is equal to minus Wp, right. These are very straightforward equations, just taken at the boundary of the depletion region, because it stays constant throughout the depletion region. So, for whole current I have taken the edge of the depletion region on the n side, and for the electron current I have taken the edge of the depletion region near the p side. So, that, and we know that both are minority currents on each side. So, total current is this, as we saw earlier, J is equal to Jp Wn, Jp at Wn plus Jn at minus Wp. Now, to solve these equations we need the boundary conditions. So, boundary conditions at the edge of the depletion region, first we assume that there is low level injection condition, right, and also the additional current that we apply because of applied voltage is very small, at least in the depletion region, okay. And we assume that electric field and the carrier concentrations are the majority carrier concentrations are constant. So, in the depletion region, however, in the depletion region we have a condition where electric field is not equal to 0. Within the depletion region we know that electric field is not equal to 0. As a result, we can write Jn is equal to Jn drift plus Jn diff. What it means is that so this is going to be equal to, drift current is going to be equal to Qn mu n into Ne, right. This is E, the electric field. I have noted at this because there is a confusion between E and electric field and energy. So, that is why, so you can say that this is electric field, okay. So, basically so we know from the Ohm's law that this is J is equal to sigma E, which is equal to Ne mu E, right. So, this is what it is, N electronic charge into mu n into epsilon E plus the diffusion current, that is Q dn by dx, and that is equal to 0 in the equilibrium, of course. So, first we are taking at the equilibrium. So, here we can calculate what is the electric field. The electric field is then going to be equal to Q dn by dx divided by Q mu n, right. From this equation we can find out this is the electric field, and this is nothing but minus dn by mu n into dn by dx divided by n, and dn by mu n, there is something called as Einstein relation, which we have not derived, but it is simple to derive at equilibrium. At equilibrium, dn by mu n is equal to kT by q. Similarly, dp by mu p is equal to kT by q. So, what it does is that basically Einstein relation is an equation that relates the diffusivity with the mobility. You can see that this is d is diffusivity, mu is mobility, this is carrier mobility, this is carrier diffusivity. So, it relates the microscopic parameter mobility to diffusivity, and so hence this, if I replace this dn by mu n as by kT by q due to virtue of Einstein relation, I get this relation, and if you integrate this electric field from minus infinity to plus infinity, you will get built-in field basically, right. And if you integrate this over this, so junction, so this will be the built-in field that you get if you integrate it. The electric field, total net electric field within the depletion region, since you know that the electric field is 0 outside the depletion region, whether you infinity from minus infinity to plus infinity, or whether you infinity from minus Wp to plus Wn, it is going to remain the same, because on the other sides it is. So, if you integrate it from minus infinity to plus infinity, you are going to get built-in field. Now, what you do is that when you apply bias, so this built-in field is nothing but junction potential, right, at equilibrium, right. Okay, this is the junction potential at equilibrium. When you apply bias, this junction potential is going to get modified. So, this junction potential will become VBI minus VA or VBI plus VA. So, let us say we do not worry about the sign right now, we just write it as VBI minus VA. So, if I now apply the bias and measure the junction, calculate the junction potential now becomes equal to VBI minus VA, which is minus WP2 plus WN EDX. In the previous case, you can integrate it from minus infinity to plus infinity, or VBI can also be minus WN minus WP2 plus WN EDX, okay, because since the bands are flat beyond minus Wn and plus minus Wp and plus Wn, it does not really matter whether you integrate from minus infinity to plus infinity or minus Wp2 plus Wn. So, if I now do this, so what I have here is, so if I now do this, I get this junction potential. This junction potential is equal to Vbi minus Va minus and this is equal to minus Wp to Wn integration Edx, okay. And if you do the substitution for E, you get a relation for junction potential, that is Kt divided by Q into ln of Nn Wn Np minus Wp. On the so for electrons it would be, since we are taking in terms of electrons, we get the relation for electron concentration. So, when you look at the what is Nn? So, Nn is nothing but majority carrier concentration on the N side at Wn. Np is the minority carrier concentration at minus Wp. So, the ratio of log of ratio of majority carrier concentration on the N side to the minority carrier concentration on the P side multiplied by Kt by Q is the junction potential. So, this is what we have established till now. We will take this further in the next class. So, next class what we will do is that we will look at the minority carrier concentration calculation. So, from this now you have got this relation in junction potential, you can calculate what is the minority carrier concentration on either side, okay. You can write a similar equation for holes. If you write a similar equation for a holes and then calculate the carrier concentration in terms of junction potential, we should be moving forward with our analysis of carrier concentration calculation and current estimation, okay. So, we will do that in the next lecture. We are running out of time, we will finish here today. Thank you.